Okay, this is my Tevo Tornado. I'm just going to do a rundown of what it was rocking before I did all my upgrades, and then the upgrades I did, and the problems, and then the updates I did in an attempt to fix the problems, and then my troubleshooting steps from there on. So, prior it was running an MKS Gen L version 2 with TMC 2208s in the UART configuration. On all axis, it was running stock Tevo Tornado stepper motors. They're, weird reversed, the first and second coils, those stepper motors. And their standard hot end, the lead screw and gears were all stock, and that about sums it up. No other major modifications on that other than the BL Touch. Okay. Post upgrade, I upgraded from TMC 2208s to TMC 2209s. Same mainboard. I decided to upgrade the lead screw. It's now a 2mm pitch. I also decided to upgrade the gears, or the pulleys, to go from 20 teeth to 16 teeth. And I thought that was good enough, and then I realized I had purchased an E3D hot end and had yet to install it. So, this part right here, the E3D hot end match, is the last part I have successfully printed on this printer. So, it worked perfectly. Then I proceeded to do the upgrades that I just laid out. And the first thing I experienced was when it was at the start of a print, it would do auto bed leveling perfectly just fine. It would heat up and everything just fine. I calibrated my steps per millimeter with a dial gauge. All of that worked perfectly. But when I would start a print, my slicer, Cura, usually does a clean along the line, where it moves from the back corner where it finishes ABL, moves up and drops the nozzle down and does a clean. The nozzle, or the Z gantry, entirely would not move down. Instead, I would get a wonderful little screech from the Z axis, and it would just continue on normally, obviously without dropping the Z-axis down. So, by digging through the G-code line by line, I was able to identify which G-code command it was. And so, as an attempt to get it working, because I needed to start on a project, I commented that line out. It works, with the exception of another thing. Retraction does not work. It does the same thing. It retracts, produces a screech, and the filament does not move at all. So, those are my symptoms. Now, here's the troubleshooting steps. First, I thought it was a bug in Marlin. So, I went from Marlin 2.0, whatever it was, the latest version, to their latest bug fix, seeing if that would fix it. Same problem. So then I thought, stepper current. I recalculated my stepper current. My calculation, running at 80% of my stepper's rated output, was 850. I dropped it down to 750 just to be on the safe side. And same thing. So I bumped it back up to 850, same thing. And then I bumped it up to 0.9. And that was 100% of, my steppers rated out, or 90% of my steppers rated output. Same thing. And I know everyone on the internet says never ever ever go above 90, so I didn't go any higher than that. So, I know it's not stepper motor current. Next thing I thought of testing was replacing these stepper motors. So, these are Tevo's proprietary weird stepper motors. I replaced those, and because they have their proprietary coil winding, I also had to replace the cables. So, all good cables there, new steppers. Once again, we have brand new drivers. Same thing. So, I thought, okay, it's got to be Marlin. I've tracked everything else. I've been using this printer for months, or years actually. Your little side project, entire 3D printed telescope and tracking mount. So, I know how to use my printer. I figured, okay, I've checked everything. It's got to be Marlin. Alright? I looked through all the GitHub issues that had anything to do with that. I couldn't find anything on Marlin's GitHub page. So, I said, screw it, let's try Klipper. So, Klipper is installed right now. It's doing the exact same thing, but slightly worse, because I can't even do an auto bed level without it screeching and failing. So, I'm going to try and demo it. I don't know what else to test. It's driving me nuts because I wanted to, start a new project and everything, and I've been going at this for weeks, or about a week and a half now. It's driving me nuts. So let me demo what it does. So I've got Klipper stood up here. I'm going to go ahead and home all axis. We're going to watch it just so I can show that, Z-axis does move good. We'll go ahead and move that so we can see that Z coupling. You can see that Z coupling is just spinning away all nice and happy. Same thing when I move it manually. Everything is fine. So, we're now homed. Once again, I'm going to position this so we can see the Z coupling, and I apologize, I have a central tremor. So if the camera starts to get shaky while I am... Alright, I'm going to click Auto Bed Leveling, or Calibrate. There it is, it didn't move, and now it moves happily. Alright, but it wasn't far enough down to do a proper BL touch, so it fails. So, that's what I'm getting. Once again, same thing happens on the E-axis. I haven't experienced it with Y or Z or Y or X. It's driving me nuts. I don't know what else to test. I really want to get this fixed. So I guess final summary. I have checked the drivers, brand new drivers. They should be good. I use the same drivers in my telescope. I pulled them out, and I know those have been working because I've been imaging with that thing for a few months now. Put them in there. Same thing. I tried replacing the steppers, and of course stepper cables along with that. Same thing. I've tried Marlin 2.0, Marlin bug fix, changing my stepper current from going from 0.75 to 0.9 as kind of my range of stepper currents to test. I have tried using Klipper firmware. I have tried identifying which G-code command does it. I've tried changing the flow or feed or speed, whatever the F value is on the G0 and G1 commands. Nothing seems to fix it. I don't know why, but it happens on every retract and every, it seems like, fast move of the z-axis. Everything else works fine. So yeah. Any thoughts or ideas would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.